with Steve Smith Sr. and Adam Rankin. Also, Jane Slater, who's covering all things Cowboys for us down there in Dallas. Jane, annual expectations have led to annual disappointment. What's the focus for the Cowboys this offseason?
They've got to figure out what to do with some of their free agents. Mike, I know that you'll be covering a lot of this, as well as Ian and Tom, but one of the moves that we're going to be keeping an eye on is what do you do with Amari Cooper? He is guaranteed $20 million if he's still in the books here on March 20th. And is that too much for them? They are trying to figure out, once again, this is something we talk about every year. They find themselves in cap hell. They always seem to figure it out, but who's going to be the cap casualty? Now, when you look at Amari Cooper, he's in a room that's crowded. In other words, it's been an embarrassment of riches. You've got Michael Gallup, you've got CeeDee Lamb, and of course, you've got Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper still has 2 years left on this deal, but they gave themselves a bit of an out when they structured this. So they could go to him, ask for him to restructure this, or they could outright trade or release him and get some cap savings here. But with that being said, Michael Gallup is a free agent. He's looking to command about $10 to $12 million on the open market. So CeeDee Lamb is the only guarantee. And oh, by the way, the guys that backfill him, you've got guys like Cedric Wilson, Malik Turner, Noah Brown. They're all also free agents. So they've got to figure out what they're going to do here and how important Amari Cooper is to this offense. I would submit, though, that when you get the ball in his hands, he's been highly efficient. Go back to that game when Dak Prescott missed the one against Minnesota. He had 2 of those clutch catches on the final drive and then, of course, the game-winning touchdown. But for whatever reason, he found himself in Jerry Jones' crawl space because he didn't get vaccinated. He missed 2 games, and the second half of the season did look remarkably different than the first half. He kept complaining he should get the ball. Then at the end of the season, Jerry Jones said, well, when we give you the ball, you should catch the ball up the middle. Other receivers do it. So that's why this big question mark about Amari Cooper has started percolating here in Dallas.
Did you say crawl space?
I think she did.
Like attic, like the crawl space in the attic.
Like under,
yeah, I think
crawl space.
Crawl space.
Referring
Jerry Jonesism right there. There you go.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of other issues with the Dallas Cowboys. Not only do they have a lack of wide receivers, Dalton Schultz is also a free agent. And then there's the looming specter of what's going on with Mike McCarthy. Because you know the first time that the Cowboys have that inevitable loss, and it's probably going to be week 1 here against the LA Rams in SoFi Stadium. That's my prediction. I don't have any insight on that. But you know, once they lose a game, it's going to be like, where's Sean Payton? When is Sean Payton arriving? What's this happening? And it's not like Jerry Jones doesn't have a track record of this. He did this with Wade Phillips as well. So you got a lame duck, supposedly. Supposedly. Whatever.
Supposedly.
Listen, you know what I'm saying. They have possibly a lame duck coach. They have a situation that's going to explode on them. I mean, if only we could have seen this in their history, because it seems like it happens every year.
Steve's making faces. Go, Steve.
No, we're talking about the 2022 Dallas Cowboys, or are we still holding on to Michael Irvin, the playmaker, co-worker, Troy Aikman, the Hall of Famer, like, you know, Charles Haley, Emmitt Smith, Jay Novacek. Who are we talking about? Are we still talking about the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s? Because we have these grandioso expectations when really we need to lower our expectations. The NFC East, that division, is all right. It's aight. It's okay. It's like we're talking about the NFC East as if it's a steak, like Wagyu steak, market price. Man, this ain't nothing but some nachos and some popcorn and hot dog.
With the cheese sauce. It's not even melted cheese.
We need
it's
to lower our
sauce.
expectations. Yes, the cheese sauce. And guess what? It's the summertime. So we got nickel flicks on, and it's discount time. That's what we really need to start talking about and being honest. The Dallas Cowboys are a fantastic team back in the day. 2022, they're not that team anymore.
It's like
Dak Prescott, baller.
All right.
The
Amari
reboot
Cooper,
hasn't been...
CeeDee Lamb, great.
They keep trying to reboot. Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jane, real quick.
But real quick, Steve, do you think that they have the talent, or do you think they're not maximizing the talent through coaching? Because I hear you, Adam, on Mike McCarthy and the uncertainty, but I don't think it's Sean Payton that they're looking to bring in if Mike McCarthy doesn't get this done. They've got Dan Quinn. You think he locked up in Dallas just because they're saying, oh, you're going to be defensive coordinator for this year? You had all these interviews, all these people wanted you, but stick around here to be the defensive coordinator. That doesn't happen.
Good point.
So I think that's what's going to be a hyper motivator for Mike. But I am curious what you think. When you look at this roster, is it a talented roster, or are they not getting the most out of it?
Maybe a little column A, a little column
I think
B.
it's a talented roster. I think also sometimes at the end of it, it's not really how much talent they have or don't have. I think there's a root issue. I don't want to say what the root issue is.
Why not?
It ain't coaching. It's not the players, because this is also NFL Network. You know,
I think we can infer.
I got it. I
think we can infer.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. It's not rank. Steve mentioned the 90s.
You feel what I'm percolating with?
I got it. I got it all. I'm having that coffee. Steve mentioned the 90s. It was almost the 90s the last time we had a NFC East repeat champion, the Eagles in 2004. Let's start with rank here. Who's the biggest challenger now to the Cowboys? Because if history continues, they're not going to win the division next year.
Well, I agree with Steve. I think this division's just all right. I'm not cool. I'm just going to say all right. It's all right. But I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they've got the best opportunity. I thought that early last year, it looked like they were going to struggle with Nick Sirianni, but they started to put it together. And I still believe in Jalen Hurts. I think that he can be an effective quarterback in the NFL. I think that they've done a nice job of accumulating some talent. We'll see what they do in free agency and the draft. Obviously, there's still a lot to go, but I think as it stands right now, the Eagles would be my favorite to win the NFC East.
I always love when we talk about this, guys, before we've even seen what they're going to do ahead of the draft or what they do with their free agents. But I'm going to have to agree with Adam. Even though the Cowboys went undefeated in the division against their NFC East opponents, we've seen some coaching changes, and we've also got a draft coming up. And to your point, with the Eagles, I think that their midseason turnaround was impressive. I think we'll have to see what they do with the quarterback position. Is Jalen Hurts going to be that guy? They've got, 3 first-round picks, and if they can bolster their defense, I think that they could be a true threat in the division. Although I do think the Cowboys are licking their wounds a little bit, and Mike McCarthy having that seat very, very warm might be hyper-motivating for this team.